out here. We made it. Boy, it was snowy. The roads were slick. We had a trailer full of horses and a little rough this morning. But we're so thankful for this snow. We're not going to complain about the snow one bit. We've been in a drought for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And so this snow is a blessing to us, and we're just grateful for it. And it makes everything just beautiful. You can see some of the country and look at these red rocks when they get snow on them. That doesn't happen a lot, but it did today. So anyway, what we're doing today is we are gathering a bunch of cows, kind of right where we're standing. We're going to gather cows to this spot and get them ready to go into a place we call Johns Canyon. And Johns Canyon is a big push. Like, it's 10 miles one way, and you really can't pull a horse trailer into this canyon. And so then we have to turn around and ride 10 miles back out. And so it'll be a big day. We're going to break it up into two days. So today we're getting cows to this point, and then tomorrow we're going to do the long push into the canyon. Johns Canyon is just this huge box canyon, and it's got a gate across a really narrow section, and we'll show you that when we get up there. But it literally only takes about 75 yards of fence to hold these cows in that canyon. And it's just a really cool place with a lot of history. There's good feed, good water up there, and so we're going to put cows up there for a few months and see how they do. They should do fantastic. But that's what we're doing over the next couple of days. All right, well, we promised last week we'd tell you how Trason hurt his arm. You can see him there. He's kind of riding one-handed and being real careful. We'll throw up a few pictures of his x-rays and things like that. But it's been, it was right before Christmas. We were out here and had some of the neighbors' cows in with our cows, and we were just cutting those cows out. And Trason went to get around a cow that was running pretty hard, and he was running pretty hard, and his horse hit a little bit of a hole and just stumbled. Did not go all the way down, but just stumbled. And they were moving hard and fast, and anyway, it just caused Trason to come right off. And he hit so hard that when I got over there to where he was, both of his cowboy boots were actually off. So the impact of that, between that and coming out of his stirrups, pulled his boots off. And we were just looking around to make sure he was okay and make sure you know, he wasn't hurt too serious, and we're checking everything, and he's sitting up and he's got dirt all over his face, and it's just, you know, he's trying to get his bearings a little bit, and we're looking at everything, and his, you know, he's saying, oh, I landed on my head, so we're checking his head and getting all the dirt off of him. And he said, something doesn't feel right with my arm, it's just not right. So I said, well, move your fingers. And so he moved his fingers and made a little bit of a fist. And I thought, okay, well, that's good. And then I said, well, let me look at it. He had all of his winter coats and everything on. And so I lifted his sleeve up on his coat, and I could see that wrist, and I could see it was not right. And I mean, it was pretty obvious. I was like, oh boy, well, here we go. So I just pulled his coat back down and said, we better call your wife and get her out here. We got to get you home, get you into the emergency room. You got to have that arm fixed. And anyway, at that point, it was also about a half a mile to a truck, and so we had to walk back to that, and it was a pretty rough experience. But that's what happened to Trason with his arm. And like I say, we'll show you the videos and not videos, the x-rays and stuff, and some pictures of it. But boy, was it a bad wreck. That's part of the risks of being out here chasing cows, riding horses.
So after a couple of hours of moving these cows up through the snow and through the crazy red rock country, we made it to the gate. We plan to leave the cows here and close the gate so they can't come back down where we brought them from. But we'll be here early in the morning to gather and pick them up and take them the rest of the way to Johns Canyon. We don't know exactly how many miles it is up to the good feed and water in Johns Canyon, but we know that it's going to be a 5 or 6 hour ride to get them there. So we're prepared for a big day tomorrow, and we're going to go home and get warmed up and be ready to go. Well, it's pretty cold this morning. We're loaded up and headed back down to where we left the cows last night. We've got a little bit bigger crew with us today, so we're grateful for the help, and we're gonna go gather these cows. I'm sure they moved further than where we left them last night, but we're excited to get these cows to good feed and water, and to especially see some awesome country. So we're excited. If you guys want to learn more about Johns Canyon, there is some pretty interesting articles and history and numerous stories on the internet. If you just look up Johns Canyon, you'll find some pretty cool stuff and some pretty dark stuff. But we just can't get over the beauty in this country and in this canyon. long ride, we made it in here to Johns Canyon. We found some water. This water runs all the way up this draw and further north, and the feed is awesome, but there is enough feed and water in here to hold them for the next couple months. These cows are going to be fat and happy, that's for sure. This pasture hasn't been used in the last couple of years, and so we're excited to utilize it and come up in here and see some awesome country. And anyway, we're gonna stretch the legs and let the horses rest, and we packed some sandwiches and some drinks up in here, and so we're gonna grab something to eat and get ready for the long trek back out of here. Well, we're loaded up and headed back out of here, ready for a long ride. We're gonna go see some other cool stuff that we rode by, but anyway, hey, it wouldn't be a normal day out here if one of the Turks didn't have a Red Bull.
Back at the truck about 20 miles plus later. Got the cows where they needed to be. We all survived. We're sore, a little bit tired, ready to go home and get something to eat. So I'll see you next week.